Hello, everyone, and welcome to our CW39 Sip and Learn with Friends, as we are here on the set of Friends, Central Park behind me. Jennifer Anderson is getting me a coffee. It probably will never come. And so that's why we always show the multi-platform capability of both the power of television that still elects presidents and the power of digital working together in order to help reach your target audience. If you look at Amazon itself, they spent over $2.3 million during this crisis. This time last year, they were spending $500,000. So they're taking advantage of the opportunity to be able to connect with consumers during COVID-19. And by the way, this isn't the first time that Amazon has doubled down during a crisis. They did it in 2008. Well, right now we are in what we call crisis marketing. Unlike crisis management, where something terrible has happened and you're trying to kind of recoup, you want to keep a presence so people know that you are open and you are still ready for business.
Some business owners, Mitch, are concerned about appearing as if they're exploiting the crisis for their own benefit, especially if maybe they're doing something that gives back to the community in such a way. How do you strike a balance and let people know in a way that doesn't seem like it's exploitive, that you care and you're a business that cares and gives back?
What a great question, and a great way to position that is to let people know, listen, you're a part of that community too. You've got a business in the Houston market. You're part of that community, and that you wanted to do your part. A lot of companies and businesses are shifting gears. We see how the automotive industry was shifted into gears to make ventilators, and these plastic companies were turning to making those protective masks, the PPEs, that were so desperately needed for hospitals and first responders. And so there's a way for you to articulate that message, and we'd like to keep that conversation going with you to help you do that, because there is a balance to do it, but it's okay to let people know that you're doing something positive during this crisis. And Ziggy, if you can bring back to me, I want to show you a little device. And this is an Oximeter. This is a $30 purchase on Amazon, and you turn it on, and you put your finger in, and about 30 seconds later, it gives you a reading of your oxygen level. Now, why is this important? The oxygen level, I'm at 99, so anywhere between 90 and 100 is good. My heartbeat's a little high, but I need to take a jog. But that,
you gave people the finger there for a minute.
Oh,
no, that was, which finger was that on?
It shouldn't have been the middle one. That was probably not a wise choice. But this meter will be able to measure the oxygen levels, because your oxygen levels will actually lower before a fever onset happens. So this will be able to measure. You can get these for $30. Like I said, the automotive industry is doing it. They, the president of Hyundai North America said this week that is the focus that they are doing, that those that can afford to buy a new car, that they're going to provide the Hyundai Assurance Program. But they're also saying this is a good time because you can get a great low interest rate. And for some, you can go almost a whole year without having to make a payment, which is a very, very long time if you think about it.
Mitch, I have another sort of interesting question here that speaks to the future of television newscasts. We've shown that viewership of local newscast broadcast TV is up about, on average, 73%. You're going to get into some of the digital trends in terms of how many more people are streaming on a variety of platforms, some of which I haven't even heard of until you mentioned them. But you're at an interesting place as a media company in that viewership is up while businesses have fewer dollars to spend on advertising, so they can reach more people, but they don't have the dollars to do it. And you, in effect, could create more programming to reach more people, but that comes only with funding from ad dollars. How do you reconcile those two things?
Well, first of all, let me just say, let's make a deal. Come to us. Let us know what you are able to do, and let us build a package, a campaign that will work for you. And by the way, we do have inventory, so we can make some deals for you to get you through this difficult time. And I believe that another positive that's come out of this, obviously, our healthcare workers. I love the fact that they're finally getting the respect that they deserve. But the other bright side is that people have returned to broadcast television. They've moved moved away from the national news organizations and focused back on what's happening in their own backyard. And that is where local television shines. It's what we do best. We are that last line of defense. We are that line of communication that is trusted in the community. And we have seen that uptick. And I believe that that will continue, especially among younger viewers as we move past COVID-19. The first that I'll share with you, and I don't know if this has happened to you, but this happened to me this week. I reached the end of Netflix. I watch way too much TV, and you can just ask my partner. He will tell you I watch way too much TV. But I call it market research is what I call it, the justification. If you have been, like me, watching a lot of television, you will have seen that this is an opportunity for you to get in front of those audiences, because OTT, or over the top, has grown by 30%, as I mentioned earlier.
People in their space becoming experts, a realtor talking to people, not talking at them, but to them, answering their questions, interacting, and making themselves the expert in their field, whether you're an insurance agent, a real estate agent, a doctor, a dentist, whatever it is. If you reach them and you become a recognized expert and people share that information with others, it adds credibility to your business and could lead to an increase in customers. And as you say, it's free to do it. Also, some business owners recognizing they may not be the best spokesperson for their business and deputizing someone else to do it, to be that spokesperson. That's also a strategy that you can engage people with.
So let's talk a little bit about that. And that's really what we call the podcast world. It is an opportunity for people to become an expert in their field. And our sister station in Dallas, CW33, has partnered with a company called On Air Media to help them do that. Either they bring that business owner on and they serve as an expert talking about their field, or they can be media trained in order to better be prepared for that. And the third thing that they're able to do, and by the way, these services are available for anyone. Feel free to reach out to me so we can talk a little bit more about what that might look like, is that we can help find someone to become your spokesperson, someone who has some cachet in television, who has spent some time in front of the camera, that can become that representative for you. And by the way, podcasts are blowing up, as you know. In particular, the category that we always see is the unsolved and cold case mysteries. If I get to hear one more podcast of that, there are some of my favorites. There's Business Wars that pits Amazon against Walmart and Delta American against Southwest. Very educational, 6-part series. Nice little plug there. That's my personal favorite. It's called Business Wars, and they also have Business Daily as well if you can't get enough of Business Wars. But these podcasts are a way for you to, again, position yourself. And as we move out of this time and we move back into what we're calling our new normal, you got to keep in mind that people are going to have to think of different ways in order to connect with people. And the last thing I'm going to leave with you is how to accelerate sales in an uncertain time. So here are my final thoughts, if you will. First of all, stay top of mind. Make sure that you have if you are an e-commerce company or have products that you can sell online, make sure you've got your e-commerce set up and that you're able to hit the ground running. Even if you're not immediately selling, you should be a preferred product of purchase once the buying power returns. So being that top of mind. Second, take advantage of cheap media. That's that Facebook Live. That's your fan page. That's your Instagram. That's your email database. Use those to keep the message out there and to keep that content fresh. So take advantage of that. For those who go dark, you will create such a hole in your business and in your marketing that you may never crawl out of. So that's why we say keep your message out there.
The question is, it wasn't always called Friends. There were several working titles, one of which I think is probably more widely known than the others. So there were at least 3 working titles of Friends. Name one of them.
Frenemies? Was that one of them?
Frenemy, that's the sequel. That's when they get older.
Yes.
And start working together. All right, so any answers here? And 6 of 1. 6 of 1, that's a cool title, but I mean, now that it's been Friends for so long, how could you imagine it being?
I mean, how can you have 6 and 1 after you had 8 is enough? I mean, We want to thank you again. Thank you, Harvey and Ron, for serving as our moderator. A big shout out to our director extraordinaire, Ziggy, who has done an amazing job of making sure I didn't look like an idiot today, or as Ron calls me, a COVIDiot. And with that, I say, take care of yourself and each other. Until next time.